who do you want to talk about next?
Lynne Ramsay.
Lynne Ramsay.
Yeah. So the only film I've watched of Lynne Ramsay's is We Need to Talk About Kevin. I have never been so terrified in a movie as I was in We Need to Talk About Kevin. And I don't know if that's like, well, obviously you can help answer this question, but I don't know if that's like if that's specifically a thing for a woman where it's like you could potentially
Be the mother of a monster.
Be the mother of a monster. And just like how do you reconcile that? There were so many times where I was watching that film and I was like, I want to murder this child. And it's so disturbing. I've never been so terrified by a film.
Even the title, if we need to talk about Kevin, is such a statement of a title, right?
Yeah.
And then you get into who Kevin is. And I remember that movie so vividly. The first frame when she's at that festival with the tomatoes.
And Lynne Ramsay does so well at like as like a visual filmmaker, like the tomatoes, like just before the baby is about to be born, like it's like this blood like metaphor that just goes through. There's a lot of red in that film.
And then the baby crying all the time, like literally driving Tilda mad. And then the only time he's quiet is when he's in a construction site where there's a lot of noise, and then the baby's calm.
Or with his father.
And then all those weird things when he pushes the kid away and the kid breaks his arm but doesn't say ow or nothing, just looks at her in a way, and what the fuck is going on with this kid?
And it's like, and even at that young age, knowing that if he doesn't tell the truth, it's something that he can hold over her for
the rest of such a disturbing movie. And again, you know, how do you deal with that? Because I loved the flashback, flash forward, fast time, where she's like this bruised woman who nobody wants to interact with. People spit in her face when she goes shopping because of something that, you know, her son did.
She still goes to visit him.
Yes, trying to understand what. And I remember, it might be a bit of a giveaway for those who haven't watched it. Like, why did you do it? And he's like, I thought I knew.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? The movie doesn't give you any kind of catharsis.
No.
And that's what was so difficult. And a couple of very unsettling scenes where this guy approaches her and she's kind of pushing him and saying, who else will want you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. Just to have people be able to say that, who else will touch you? Who else will want you? You're a freak. You've created a monster. That stigma that she has to carry every single day, and you can see that in every frame. In every, you know, the Tilda's performance there is just amazing.
Incredible.
Wow.
And it's it's tough because it's like you sort of watch it thinking, why don't you just disappear like the Nomadland characters?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
Like there's
buy a train and fuck off.
How deep your guilt and responsibility must be to actually stay, because I mean she must be staying there to be in proximity to him right? And it does make you confront a lot of things within yourself where it's like, I mean, would I stay? I don't know what it's like to be a mother. Probably you would.
From the character, right? She lost her husband and her daughter to this monster, but you're still related to this monster. He's the only person you have left because nobody from the outside world wants to have anything to do with you. So that's who you have. That codependency is still there. She's going there to see him for what? Because there are so many frames that they don't talk. They just sit.
They just sit there.
And there's nothing.
And for her as well, like, to what degree are you responsible for the way that he turned out? Because there's those scenes where she makes a disparaging comment about the fat guy eating, and he's like, oh, you're really quite harsh. Like, where do you think I get it from? Like, these sorts of, he really knows how to turn the screws with her.
Yeah, but then at the same time, is it nature or nurture, right?
Yeah, well, I guess that's the question.
That's the question that the movie raises, right? Because she was trying to be a good mom, right? She did the best she could. So in this case,
in a circumstance that she didn't even really want to be in either, like she had to like leave her job as an author to like give birth to the child, and there's all those scenes where she talks about how she'd rather be in France, or like they have to move away from New York City, and it's massive existential crisis film.
it is a weird film. I will revisit it at some point, but again, I need to get into that state because I know it will really rattle me inside, and that, you know, it's like, whew. It's not an easy watch.
It's not an easy watch.
It's not a Friday night watch.
No.
Yeah, but I will watch it.
You're not relaxing with that film.
No. I've seen another movie, You Were Never Really Here, with Joaquin Phoenix. An amazing movie for two reasons. So, Joaquin is this ex-military character, right? You don't imagine Joaquin being that, but again, it's Joaquin Phoenix. He can pull off anything. Whose mission is to save women, girls who are in the sex trade.
Right.
And he's like a detective kind of thing. You don't know exactly what his job was in the military, but the backstory is not really there. But his behavior, the way he looks at stuff, and his weapon of choice is a hammer. That's it. But you never really see the hammer being dropped. So these frames where he just goes into a room, and then it's like he just walks out and everybody else is in pieces. So she plays a lot with the threat of violence, but you never see the violence on screen.
Right. Yeah, well, when you talk, we need to talk about Kevin. You never actually saw him shoot anybody. It was it was very like abstract with him in the gymnasium alone.
Exactly. You see the preparation, how he puts the bolts on the doors, how he orders them online,
and then you see the bodies getting taken out afterwards.
Exactly. So again, that's her trademark. So there's a lot of violence in her movies, but you never really see it.
Yeah.
It's the same with this one. You never really see, you see him being hit by someone, but you don't really see him hitting people.
Right.
It's just the threat of violence. You have this larger than life, very dark character who's clearly disturbed by the way he looks, by the way he behaves. You know, he's not from this world. Like you get that point, which going back to Kevin, he's not from this world.
Right.
The characters who are walking amongst us, but they're not one of us.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And is this film set in America as well?
Yes. It is set in America.
Yeah, so it's interesting that she's like a British filmmaker with what feels like a very European like sensibility, making films that are set in America.
How does she pull it off?
Right?
Both as how she's doing the movies, right? The research that she has to do, but then also getting them green light, right? How does she do that? How does she translate so well that she can pitch these things, and then, because again, we need to talk about Kevin. I don't think it was a commercially successful movie. It's not a date movie. It's not. No. It's a very niche kind of audience you have.
Yeah, it would be very scary for a studio or whatever.
Your mom will not go watch that movie.
No, it was made by BBC Films, and I don't know who else in conjunction with them. I mean, I could see the British funding bodies like potentially doing something like that, but yeah,
the BBC does have risky projects, and I respect them for that. They have this HBO fear in terms of how they do these projects. We're like, oh, okay, we don't know if it's gonna make money, but we like this idea, so we're gonna push the envelope, and we need that because Universal will not greenlit that.
No.
You can't build a theme park around. Let's talk about Kevin, right? Parents.
The scariest ride you've ever been on.
You parents, step this way. Oh man.
Hold the screaming baby.
Yeah, again, really curious of what she's going to do next.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it's not going to be an easy movie to watch.
No.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for movies.
Yeah, you can't go and make a rom-com after that, can you?
Yeah. Or
you could.
Or you could. Who knows, again, right? It's like someone dies at the end of the rom-com.